Bombshell intelligence from Russia. Xi Jinping's health is rapidly deteriorating. China's regime may soon undergo a leadership transition. Let's uncover the secret. What really caused Xi to lose power? Welcome back to Final War with Katherine Hu. Rumors and credible leaks have increasingly pointed to one thing. Xi Jinping has lost his grip on real power in China. But many still ask, how could a man who centralized power to an extreme suddenly be on the verge of political extinction? Let's dive into what Russian and US intelligence are now revealing and uncover the two pivotal events that led to Xi's downfall. On June 12th, a Russian-linked X, formerly Twitter account General SVR, posted an eye-opening message. Kremlin is sabotaging the US-Iran nuclear deal. Post-Xi China. This account has a reputation. SVR refers to Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, and its past posts have proven surprisingly reliable. It revealed 3 key points. 1. Putin wants to sabotage the US-Iran nuclear deal, a strategy coordinated with the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, to pressure Iran into rejecting compromises proposed by the Trump administration. This aligns with Israel's strikes on Iran since June 12th, confirming the explosive situation in the Middle East. 2. Xi Jinping is the weakest link in this geopolitical chessboard. His declining health undermines China's role in this alliance. 3. A leadership change is imminent in China. The new leaders are expected to be far more liberal and likely to cooperate with the West, undermining both Russia and Iran. In other words, China may soon find common ground with the West, at the expense of Russian and Iranian interests. On June 9th, the same source claimed Xi suffered a heart attack on the night of May 25th to 26th, followed by 2 angina episodes. The report suggested that factions within the CCP had already decided to remove him from power. Yet, Xi's inner circle is doing everything to maintain the status quo. Russia's intelligence clearly recognizes Xi's abnormal status. And perhaps more importantly, they seem to already know who might replace him and what policies the next leadership would pursue. Since China's reform era, leaders like Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao leaned westward, keeping distance from Russia. Xi changed that trajectory, drawing closer to Putin. This report validates growing speculation that Wang Yang, assisted by Hu and Wen, could be China's next top leader. On June 9th, China expert Bill Gertz published a piece in the Washington Times citing a new report from a US Air Force think tank. The report quoted General Zhang Youxia, China's most powerful military officer, expressing serious doubts about the PLA's ability to meet Xi Jinping's directive to prepare for a Taiwan invasion or blockade. According to Jang, the military had not moved quickly enough. His concerns, initially published in a state-run media essay last year, outlined critical weaknesses: flawed military leadership, poor coordination between civilian and military sectors in wartime scenarios, and a clear lack of readiness for joint or information warfare, capabilities essential for any large-scale military operation. What does this actually mean? It means that Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission, General Zhang Youxia, had already, as early as last year, publicly cast doubt on Xi Jinping's plan to invade Taiwan by 2027. In doing so, he indirectly challenged Xi's authority, marking a stunning shift from loyal ally to silent dissenter. And that's exactly why General Zhang Youxia is one of the most pivotal figures in the story we're telling today. Zhang Youxia is what's known in China as a princeling, a second-generation communist elite born into a powerful military family. His father, General Zhang Youxia, shared a deep wartime bond with Xi Jinping's father, Xi Zhongxun, as comrades in the Northwest Field Army. This old family connection gave Jang and Xi a kind of dynastic trust. Jang also benefited politically under former President Hu Jintao, who viewed him as a loyal and capable officer. In 2012, just before stepping down, Hu promoted Jang to the Central Military Commission and made him Minister of the General Armaments Department, a clear signal of trust and strategic placement. Once Xi took full control, Jang became one of his key enforcers during the military purges targeting rival factions like Jiang Zemin's network. He helped Xi crush corruption cases like that of Gu Junshen, tightening Xi's grip on the armed forces. When Jang was reappointed as vice chairman of the Central Military Commission in 2022 at the age of 72, he was seen as Xi's top military loyalist, a personal firewall. But things began to change. As Xi elevated a new wave of ultra-loyalists like He Weidong and Miao Hua, Jang found himself increasingly sidelined. He Weidong was handpicked to lead a future Taiwan operation, while Miao took over key personnel controls in the military. Zhang's influence began to evaporate. Despite not being directly implicated in the recent shakeups, where top rocket force officers like Li Yuchao and Li Shangfu were purged, Zhang grew more isolated. And here's the part many overlook. Zhang's entire military rise was closely tied to Hu Jintao. He spent his early career in Hu's trusted 14th Group Army, was promoted to command the 13th Group Army in 2000, and was later transferred to the critical Beijing military region, again under Hu's direction. Some analysts now believe that Hu was planting a safeguard in the military to counterbalance Xi if necessary, and today, that long-game strategy might just be paying off. October 2022. The 20th National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party was underway, an event watched closely by the entire world, and then it happened. Former President Hu Jintao was abruptly escorted off the stage in full view of the cameras. What looked like a moment of confusion was, in fact, the visible crack in a high-stakes power struggle. The collapse of a failed political purge masterminded by Xi Jinping himself. Ahead of the Congress, Xi had devised a secret plan to solidify his status as China's supreme leader. His aim? To arrest 15 high-ranking officials who were considered disloyal, party elders, reformists, and technocrats. It was a bold, sweeping attempt to eliminate dissent and assert one-man rule. But the plan leaked. And the leak came from inside Xi's own trusted inner circle. The whistleblower was Chen Minner, then the powerful party secretary of Chongqing and a core Xi ally. During a confidential meeting, Chen cautiously questioned the plan. Isn't arresting 15 people going too far? That simple sentence changed everything. Xi didn't retaliate immediately, but at the Congress he abruptly removed Chen from the Politburo Standing Committee, replacing him with the more hardline and obedient Li Xi. Sensing danger, Chen began reaching out to the old guard behind the scenes. He reportedly sent a whistleblower letter to Wen Jiabao, exposing Xi's plot and distancing himself from the looming purge. The coup unraveled. General Zhang Youxia, who was supposed to command the military side of the operation, refused to act. He held the troops back, denying Xi the muscle needed to carry out arrests. Two of Xi's most trusted allies, Chen Minner and Zhang Youxia, both walked away. The purge collapsed in spectacular fashion. As for Hu Jintao, he was forcibly removed from the stage because he refused to endorse Xi's arrest list. The red folder he attempted to open contained personnel decisions, including the stunning omission of his protégé, Hu Junhua, from the new Politburo. Hu's resistance signaled that the elders were not giving Xi a blank check, and that the reformist camp still had cards to play. That moment, Hu's quiet defiance, broadcast live to the world, became an enduring symbol of resistance within the CCP, and the beginning of the end for Xi's absolute rule. But that dramatic scene at the 20th Party Congress wasn't the end of the story. It was only the prologue to Xi Jinping's true fall from power. The next pivotal moment came in July 2024, during the highly anticipated Third Plenum of the 20th Central Committee. On the second day of the meeting, rumors exploded across Chinese political circles. Xi had suffered a stroke, specifically a cerebral infarction, right in the middle of the session. The meeting was abruptly cancelled. The government scrambled to cover it up. State media aired recycled footage from the opening ceremony and claimed, without irony, that the plenum had concluded successfully. Then Xi disappeared from public view for nearly 3 weeks. He finally resurfaced on August 19th in a meeting with the Vietnamese Communist Party chief, Tô Lâm. But Vietnamese press caught something Beijing hadn't planned for. A close-up photograph revealed a clear L-shaped surgical scar on the lower right side of Xi's head. The hair around it hadn't fully grown back, strongly suggesting recent brain surgery, possibly post-stroke cranial intervention. And suddenly, Xi's odd behavior made sense. His unsteady gait, his right leg bearing more weight, his slowed movements. The man who once projected strength was visibly fragile. While Xi was incapacitated, a seismic shift quietly unfolded inside the party. He vanished from the front pages of state-run newspapers. General Zhang Youxia returned as the top military commander. Xi's loyalist generals, many promoted over the past 2 years, were systematically purged. His control over the military was shattered. The structure of Xi's dictatorship began to crack. The message was clear. Xi's iron grip on power had loosened, and his enemies had moved in. This shift became even more evident at the 2024 National Day banquet. 15 retired senior leaders, the party's elder statesmen, made a rare public appearance. Reformist icons like Wen Jiabao and Li Ruihuan sat flanking Xi at the head table, laughing, drinking, visibly relaxed. This was not about respect, it was about dominance. The symbolism couldn't be clearer. The elders were back in charge. Xi was surrounded and diminished. When you piece together the secrecy, the sudden policy shifts, the reappearance of sidelined figures like Zhang Youxia, and the extraordinary posture of the reformist bloc, it points to one logical conclusion. Xi didn't step down, he was removed. Quietly, strategically, from within. Only a coordinated internal coup, orchestrated by Jang and the party elders, explains how a once untouchable leader lost his power so swiftly and so silently. Xi's downfall was not just due to failed purges or a stroke, it was the result of systemic failure. Economy, real estate collapse, foreign divestment, record youth unemployment, consumer paralysis, all triggered by Xi's policies. Common prosperity, tech crackdowns, and zero COVID lockdowns. Military, a broken chain of command. Years of anti-corruption didn't translate to loyalty. Dissatisfaction brewed, leading to elite defections. Foreign policy, wolf warrior diplomacy and over-reliance on Russia alienated the West. International trust eroded. Even Beijing's allies started to distance themselves. What we're witnessing is not just a leadership shuffle. It's a high-stakes showdown at the very top of the Chinese Communist Party. A life-or-death power struggle that has exposed the deep fractures within the regime. And this struggle is already rewriting the political future of China. Get the real story behind the CCP's shifting power games and see where US-China relations are headed next. Support the vision of a new China without communism. Subscribe now and join us in bringing the truth to light.